You are probably wondering how I recreated this Stranger Things shot in Unreal Engine. Let's find out. My name is Nicola, and I'm a full-time VFX artist focused mainly on real-time VFX for games. I don't know about you, but I love Stranger Things. And with the final season coming out, I wanted to do something special. So I decided to recreate one of my favorite shots from the show. I will be trying to recreate final shot from season 2, the dancing scene. Everyone feels happy and safe, and everyone thinks they will live happily ever after. Then the camera slowly rotates into the upside down, revealing the mind flayer watching from above. But before I could start, I had to figure out the school size and the exact camera setup to make my version match the original as closely as possible. I needed a rough estimate of Hawkins' school dimensions, so I asked ChatGPT for help. It wasn't perfect, but it did get me very close. Once I was done with the school blockout, I began animating the camera. I found a really helpful YouTube video showing how they originally filmed this shot.
You had to basically face the camera forward, go up, then go down, do a 90-degree rotation, then pull the technocrane back another 30 feet, put the camera back down and do the exact same speed, opposite direction, and then flop one of those two shots.
I did my best to try and replicate that movement in Unreal. I'll keep the camera moving the same way in both worlds, and in the post, I'll flip the upside down shot so it looks like the camera is going through the ground. Since upside down will basically be a copy of the normal world with some changes, I needed to finish the real world shot first so I can use it as a base for the upside down. Most of the textures and 3D models I use come from the Megascans, along with some free models from Fab, for example this car pack or these bicycle models. I did also made some custom textures in Photoshop, like this decal for the Hawkins school sign. Also, for this snowball sign, I basically took a frame from the real shot, isolated the snowball sign and turned it into a texture. It's not perfect, but hey, it works. Then I recreated the decorative lights you can see in the school windows in the original shot. At first, I made them using Niagara since I was too lazy to model them, but I did get some flicker and issues when I wanted to render the shot, so I had to model them anyway. After that, I added more decals and surface imperfections to finish things up, then finalized the lighting, and that should be it for the normal world shot. But now it's time to start working on the upside down. As I mentioned before, I will be using the normal world as a base for the upside down. I duplicated the level, changed all lights color to blue, and that's it. Upside down shot is done. Of course, it wasn't that simple. Since upside down is the main focus, I put a lot more time into making it look right. I started by adding the rest of the environment we see in the reference, such as trees, houses and power lines. I'll leave a link in the description to all of the fab assets I used in this video. After that, I went back to the lighting and added a lot of fog and a famous dust particles from the show. It's not perfect, but it's good enough as a placeholder to give me an idea of how everything should look while I'm working on the lighting storm. At this point of the project, I had a lot of fun, and seeing everything coming together, I was really proud of myself. For the storm, I created a custom material that I applied to the environment dome. In that sky material, I added a sphere mask, which I used to animate the storm in the sequencer. Animating so many parameters in the sequencer is very tedious, but it was only for a couple of seconds of storm, so it was fine. Of course, we are still missing the lightnings, but I'll come back to that later. Because I think now is the time to reveal the star of the show, Mind Flayer. In order for me to create a Mind Flayer, I had to use my mental powers to manipulate magic smoke I found in this other dimension. Oh wait. No, I just used Blender and Houdini. You've probably already seen him during this video, since I made a simple version of him inside of Blender at the start of the project to use as a reference. The initial idea was to use Houdini to turn him into a VDB monster, since he is a big smoky spider after all. But Unreal just would not cooperate. For some reason, the exponential high fog I'm using doesn't work well with VDBs. No matter what I tried, there was no way to hide VDB mind flayer in the fog, and simply animating the density did not look good. He was just always visible in front of the fog. So I came up with a new approach. I would use a mesh instead of VDB, and then scattered thousands of smoke particles across his body to make him look like a smoke rather than a solid geometry. For that, I used smoke textures from my Explosion VFX pack to save time. After finishing the mind flare, I jumped back into Houdini to create some lightning meshes. Then I imported everything into Unreal and finished the storm. One more important thing I saved for the end were the vines. In Houdini, I imported the level from Unreal and used it to generate the vine meshes. Then I brought vines into Unreal, and just like that, we had vines in the scene. I wrapped things up with some final touches, adding smoke, polishing the lighting, and post-processing. I rendered both the real world and the upside down shots, brought them into Davinci for a final pass, and here it is, the final video. Enjoy!